Hello, everyone. Welcome to this episode of Scholars Path Africa. My name is Rashida, and today I'm joined by two very amazing ladies. Please introduce yourselves to our listeners.
Hello, dear listeners. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Immaculate and I'm so excited to be here today.
Hello, our lovely listeners. I'm Latifa. Thank you for tuning in on our channel.
First and foremost, we are very excited today, and it's going to be a very happy episode. The Ministry of Education in Uganda just released its list for the ladies and gentlemen that have been awarded the Algerian government scholarship. Would like to congratulate everybody whose name is on that list who has been awarded that scholarship, because myself and my co-hosts today, Immaculate and Latifa, we've all studied on that scholarship, and we wish you very amazing things on that journey. Immaculate, how did it feel when you received that message that you had received the Algerian scholarship?
Well, I was so happy. I was so excited because we had a long waiting, guys. We waited for many months because I remember at that time Algeria was doing its elections.
True.
So they took time to release the results because I think the ministry and the whole country was busy. So we had to wait for around 6 to 7 months, I
Yes.
think. Yeah, but I think it was after Christmas. Yeah, I think it was around the 28th of December.
Yes.
That's when I received a message on my phone and results were back and I was admitted. I was so happy, I was so excited. And voila, I started my journey of preparing to go to Algeria.
Latifa, where were you when that message came?
Well, that message phoned me at home. I remember very well I had enrolled in university. I was already doing my course. I was at Makerere University. But then I had mixed signals. I had to choose between Algeria and staying at Makerere. So along the wait, because it was very long, 6 to 7 months, I had given up on the Algerian scholarship. But when the message came, my spirit came back. I rushed to the ministry to confirm, is it true? It was the best news I had received at that time
I
because we
know,
had all lost hope.
Yeah, so true.
Yes. So each of us has a very amazing story when it comes to the Algerian scholarship. So this is why this episode is dedicated specifically to this group of young ladies and gentlemen who have just been awarded this scholarship. We are going to guide you on how to prepare, what to prepare. So this episode is what to pack when going to Algeria. Immaculate, what was the first thing you thought about when that list came out?
In preparations to go to Algeria, of course, one needs some good amount of money. And the very important thing is the air ticket because, the government doesn't prepare the air ticket. You cover that yourself. Yes. So for the air ticket, people normally, you'll be traveling in batches or in groups because that kind of helps cut the cost of the airfares. And the air ticket might roughly cost around $600. So it can be less, but it's always better to prepare enough so that you're not inconvenienced when time comes for you to pay or when the air ticket is set. Yeah, so another thing that required money is the bank account because the government of Uganda gives an allowance to each student of $200, and this money is being put on your bank accounts. So you will need money to open up the bank accounts, and this will be $100. So as you prepare, please put this aside. And another thing that you also need money is the police paperwork or the residence permit. Yeah, because as you're going, they give you a visa that will be running for around 3 months. And after that, you need a permanent resident card that allows you to stay in Algeria. And that one will roughly cost you $50, paying for the necessary requirements and all that. Yes, and you also need pocket money because, as I've said up, that the government gives you money, but this money you do not receive it immediately. You need to first open up your bank accounts, and it takes some time, roughly around 6 to 7 months. So during this time, you need money to keep you going. Yeah, and minimum, it can be $300, but you can prepare more. It can be $500, it can be $1,000, according to how you'll be able to prepare. Yes, and also you need money for shopping here because as you're going, you need to pack some things that will help you there. So you also need to get some money to do the shopping. We are going to be telling you, or we shall be breaking down the things that we think you might need to carry from home to Algeria.
Thank you very much, Imi, for that very, very insightful information. Maybe the other thing would like to add, I know most of you are thinking now we need to pay for flights. Do we need visas? You don't have to worry about your visa. The Ministry of Education and the Embassy of Algeria in Uganda caters for that. You don't pay for the visa. They will provide that visa for you. Hopefully, you've also already gotten your fever vaccine. Yeah, because you need that yellow fever card sometimes at the airport. They do disturb you. So make sure if you've not yet got it, go get your yellow fever vaccine. Now, since you're students, we all know the scholarship is to study. You're going there to study, to get a good education. That is what the government of Uganda is sending you to do in Algeria. And students must have certain documents because you can't go there with certain paper. There are certain documents that are required of you, even in registering in Ugandan universities. Everywhere you go to register for school, there's documents they ask you for. Latifa, please enlighten our listeners on what documents they are supposed to be preparing and what documents they are supposed to pack as they go to Algeria.
Thank you so much, Rashida. As we all know, the most important document when you're leaving the country is the passport. And it should be valid. The e-passport, it should be valid. And you must have a visa. Normally, the Algerian embassy can choose to give a personal visa, which is a sticker put in your passport. Or if you're traveling in a group, it can give you a collective visa. So in this case, when you're given a collective visa, please make sure that you get a copy of that visa from the person the embassy has put the sticker. Please make sure you get a copy of that visa so that you travel along with it. The next document is the award letter. You're going to Algeria. You're not going to, you have to show the purpose why you're traveling to that country. You need your award letter. And that comes from the Ministry of Education and the Embassy of Algeria. They're usually two letters. So you need both of them. Another important set of documents is your original pass slips, senior 6 and senior 4. And you need to make photocopies of them, around 30.
Yeah, like you travel with the original one, the one that you get from school.
Yes, your original pass
Yeah, that
slip.
original slip, and you can also travel with the
Photocopy.
photocopied one. Yeah.
So on your way to Algeria, on that day when you're leaving, you need your documents, original, the senior 6 and the senior 4. And you're advised to make copies, I'll say 30 or 15 to 30 copies of each of those documents. You need your birth certificate. It should be from NIRA, these long birth certificates. Please make sure the names on all your documents are matching, from your passport to your academic documents to your birth certificates.
That includes your birthdays also, because there's the tendency of people who have a different birthday on their birth certificate, and they have a different date of birth on their national ID card, a different date of birth on your passport. Those things will cost you when you start paperwork in Algeria, especially with the resident permit. So make sure your dates of birth are matching on your
Yeah, I
documents.
think most importantly for the birth certificate and the passport, because the challenge comes in some people process their birth certificates using the national ID, and then by the time they get the birth certificate, it's different from the national ID. So it doesn't matter whether that's not your date of birth, but as long as it appears on your birth certificate and it's the same date on your passport, you're going to use those. Yes.
Lastly, on the set of documents, you need passport-sized photos with a white background, preferably. So at least take around 30 of those passport-sized photos. And also, another important note, usually the books in Algeria are squared and we are used to our normal books here. So as you're traveling, at least carry 2 or 3 black books for the start. You might be wondering why we are telling you to carry all these many documents, but in Algeria, from the university, to the embassy, to the police where you're going to get your residence cards from, you'll be leaving at least 8 copies of those documents, and including the passport photos. So to save money and time, it is better if you leave the country with those copies.
So that you save time from moving up and down, looking for studios and looking for photocopying places. Yeah, so you need to travel with these documents.
Ladies, thank you so much for sharing. Now we have arrived the gist of the matter. Because I know since these ladies and gentlemen started doing their applications, we've all watched High School Musical and the universities. You imagine universities abroad. You imagine yourself, when you start doing the application, you even start imagining the
already see yourself
outfits
there.
you're going to wear, what it's going to look like, the shoes I'm going to be putting on. So now we have arrived the gist of the matter. The personal requirements. These are the things that are going into your suitcases. We are going to talk about what do you need to pack, what sort of clothes, shoes. This part is where most of us are going to be very interested in. But before we talk about what personal requirements you need to buy and pack in your suitcases, you need to also know what the Algerian government is going to provide for you. So number one, they will give you residences. When you get there, you'll be assigned a residence, and in your residence, of course, you find the normal things: a bed, you find the cabinets where you hang things. So those things are provided by the government. Secondly, there is food in the residences. Well, there's something you're going to find. It's called the resto. In French, it's a restaurant.
Restaurant.
Yeah, the restaurant.
Yeah.
So at the restaurant, there is food. They give breakfast, they give lunch,
Lunch.
and they give dinner at the restaurant. Thirdly, you're going to have transport. When you get there, you get your student card. Oftentimes, it has a bus logo on it. So that card, the transport though, is only for school buses. They will be orange or blue. You'll get there. So for school buses, it is free transport. When you're not using the school buses and you're using public transport, there you'll have to pay some little amount of money. But that is what is provided by the Algerian government.
To add on that, the residence can either be shared, or when you're lucky, you can be one person.
Yeah,
But
true.
for starters, I highly advise to be a shared accommodation so that you get along, get to know Algeria. And also, another thing Algeria provides, it is the health card. It's called the card shifa. Usually you have to do paperwork for it. So it is very important. It helps you cut down some costs when you
on
go to the
medication.
hospitals. Yes.
And about sharing the residences, you also need to keep in mind and be very open-minded that sometimes your roommate might not necessarily be a Ugandan. It could be a Zimbabwean, a Nigerian, or a
Kenyan.
different nationality. So keep that in mind and be very open-minded that you could get there, your roommate may be a Ugandan or someone from another nationality. So you need to just keep a very open mind. Ladies, now that we have outlined what the Algerian government provides, we are going to talk about what things these young people need to put in their suitcases. And I know a lot of our listeners are wondering, why are we talking about these requirements? Why are you telling us what to pack, what to buy? You need to understand one thing. You're going to Algeria, the weather is very different from what we have. In Uganda, it's just the 2 seasons. It rains and shines,
and
every
that's all
day.
good.
And that's all. You're going to Algeria, there is winter, there is summer, there is spring,
Spring.
there is autumn. So it's 4 seasons. It's a very, very different weather from what we are used to. And in some places, the winter is very, very extreme. It snows even. People are going to go to Blida, Setif. It's very, very cold in the winter. And even the summer is very extreme. We are talking about 45 degrees, 49 degrees centigrade of heat. It's extreme heat. So you need to be able to pack clothes and things that you're going to need for each of these seasons differently. So Immaculate is going to and Tifa are going to help us pack our suitcases. Imi, what should these young people put in their suitcases?
Okay, so the first thing on our list to pack is the beddings. As Sheila said, the weather there's winter where it's really very, very cold. And she also mentioned earlier on that they provide beddings, but as you know, school is school. The beddings they do provide aren't always the best. So we advise you to please pack a warm blanket, good enough for winter. And you can also carry your bed sheets. Yes. And you people are going to be traveling in the time when it's winter, because this is the time that I think, yeah, if it's not yet cold in just a month, it will be. So this will be so helpful. And you also need to carry winter clothes. Those are jackets, shoes, jeans, and heavy sweaters, any you can afford, because yes, Algeria has all these things, but it's not always good to begin spending money on clothes, and winter stuff are always expensive during winter season. So you carry the ones that will help you to start the season, and you can always buy whenever the government sends you money. Yeah, and you need to carry also a few toiletries, like for the start, that's Vaseline. If you have a good oil you use on your skin, because Algerian stuff, I know you when you reach there, you will see it's very hard to find something that is going to work on your skin. Yeah, so you need something to start. Yeah, you need to carry something for the start, so that as time goes on, you get to find out which works for you, which doesn't. Yeah, and also some people carry food, and we also mentioned earlier on that they do provide food, but I tell you, for the start, it won't taste. It won't be tasting good. Yeah, this we've evidenced and we know. So if you have your favorite snack, you can carry. You can also carry some food like posho, of course, in reasonable amounts. Yeah, because they give you a given number of kgs in your bags. I think 23 in each bag. Yeah, so you can carry a few snacks just for a start. Then,
I remember when I was leaving for Algeria, I carried 1 kg of soya beans, I carried 1 kg of groundnuts, and those stuff took us for almost a month. We used to be
True.
in the room and we were snacking. Each time we were
For
snacking.
breakfast.
So
yeah,
take that very serious.
yeah,
That's
Guys,
that's
take
the
snacks.
important.
Take
yeah.
snacks.
Yeah, because you reach in the restaurant, you're wondering what have they prepared today. You do not understand the food. The taste is also not the best. So for the start, I think that food is really helpful. Yeah, and then a number of people had questions about, okay, now this is what our time where people are asking, do we need to carry like cooking appliances and all that? Yeah, so you don't need really to carry cooking appliances. These you can always find there. Now that brings us to the money we talked about earlier on, that you need some money to get a few things in your room when you reach there. So these are some of the things you need to buy: your cooking appliances, like hot plates, like water heaters, and all the rest. Yeah.
You guys, the funny thing is my mom packed a mingling stick that wouldn't stick. I had it. I went with it in Algeria.
Wow.
And we used to use it to make posho and cook food by the way, especially those first days before we had figured our way around the market. So it was very helpful. But for most of you these days, like we take you shopping in the first week, so you don't need to
Yeah,
worry
yeah.
much. And then you could be wondering why we are emphasizing the blankets after we are being given blankets. You need to remember you've not experienced winter before. So your body is not used to that level of coldness. That's why we are telling you they'll give you those two blankets. That's for someone who is used to winter. For people who are not used, carry that extra blanket for yourself. With time, when you get used to the winter, you probably may not need that many blankets. But for this first time, you're not used to that weather, so it's going to be very cold. Secondly, the reason we are telling you to buy these things right now in Uganda is because in Algeria it's the winter season. Like they sell clothes according to the season. When it's winter, we have winter clothes. When it's summer, it is summer clothes. When it's spring clothes. And oftentimes, like when you buy clothes in their season, they are
They're
very
very
expensive.
expensive.
So winter clothes are expensive right now. So what we are going to advise when you reach Algeria and after some time you've received money, buy winter clothes in the summer or buy them in the spring or the autumn. Buy them in a different season. Buy summer clothes either in spring or in the autumn or in the winter. But when you buy clothes in their seasons, it's always very expensive.
Yeah, and also you can carry other clothes, because I think we've only mentioned winter. No, you need your other normal clothes, because winter will pass and then you go to
It's
summer.
very hot. So
So
you need the light dresses, the
yeah,
light
shirts.
shirts.
And
And you need
shoes,
some
if you
party
see.
clothes also. You guys,
Yeah.
girls, you know how hard we used to suffer looking for party clothes that we wanted for something.
Yeah.
So find some party clothes here and buy them and go with them.
Talking about girls, I think there is more we need to pack as girls.
Yes.
My colleagues, I want to ask, what is that thing you regretted not packing when you were in Algeria?
I think for me, probably it was realizing first that we don't have makeup for our skin tone.
Yeah. True.
You struggle to find makeup for your skin tone. You had to look wilaya. We call them wilayas, but in the English word is provinces. You had to look for a certain wilaya, and then it was so expensive. So I think for me it was that not getting foundation and toner and all these things for
Lipstick.
my skin tone, for our black skin tone.
Immaculate?
The most challenging part with the maybe braids, I've remembered, sorry. Braids, because we didn't know that in Algeria they don't have saloons and all that. So I didn't carry braids, and you had to spend the entire time of around 3 months with one hairstyle, guys, because no saloons, no braids.
Yes.
So it was quite of a challenge. Yeah, it was quite of a challenge. Braids.
Okay.
Yeah.
As you've heard from my colleagues, now I'm emphasizing this, especially for the girls, for the ladies. One, you need makeup that matches your skin tone. You need to carry braids as much as you can in different colors, which make you look so vibrant.
And reusable
Wigs,
ones.
wigs,
Yes.
and you need to learn how to braid hair because it is a skill which will make you some money in Algeria, by the way. If you learn it from here, you make some good money. Also, you can take maybe 3 packets of sanitary pads for the start. As you're adjusting, you never know when it comes. Remember, when you go, there is the change of season. It can affect your
Your
hormones.
hormones.
Yeah, so you need to get ready. And also, another vital thing is the medicals. My colleague Rashida, she puts on specs. I think she can enlighten more on that.
So the first thing we are going to tell you, if you know you have certain bit of illnesses, like you have eye problems, go and have your doctor check you out and probably write for you a prescription. If you have dental problems, please visit your dentist before you leave. Get your teeth checked, get them cemented, get them worked on before you leave. If you have certain illnesses that require you taking medications every day, please get your doctor to write down that medication for you and also carry some of it to start with before you start running around with doctors and getting used. If you have, I don't know if you have an insulin problem, a sugar problem,
Allergies.
you allergies, and you have to use certain medicines, please carry some of it. Then we are going to ask you, most importantly, you're going to Algeria, they do not have malaria. And as per that, they also do not have malaria medication.
Exactly.
So if you leave Uganda with malaria, you're going to have issues when you get to Algeria. It will cause, it's a very, in fact, for them, it's an infectious disease in Algeria. So make sure you do your malaria checkup at least a week before boarding and carry some anti-malarials for just in case you get there. Maybe you had some malaria before leaving because it's a very, very heavy bad sickness when you're in Algeria. Because the one thing Algeria tried to do was to eliminate its malaria totally. So they do not have malaria in their country. And we've had issues where students have come back have gone to Algeria with malaria and they've gotten very sick. And because there is no medicine in Algeria, the other option, you've been to hospitals and the hospitals are telling you in Algeria, we do not have medication for it. So you're forced to fly the student back to Uganda just to get malaria treatment. So you need to make sure you do your malaria checkups. Now that we have finished packing our suitcases, ladies and gentlemen, you need to remember what your priority is. You've been given this scholarship to go to Algeria and study. So your priority is your education. We are also going to tell you about the few things you need to note as far as your academics and studying in Algeria is concerned. Latifa, please tell the ladies.
Much as you're told you're going to be having your lessons in English, Algeria has two official languages, which is French and Arabic. And right now, it is in the process of transitioning from using French in universities to English. Right now, in universities, while the notes are given in English, you find yourself that professors are going to explain in French. I would advise right now get on YouTube, watch a few videos about French. There is Learn with Alexa. She's a very good educator. Try to learn some French so that when you go to Algeria, you can go to offices, you can go to markets, you can speak with the locals, and also you can have your way around the country with the little French you have. Also, when you reach there, you of course have a language year where you upgrade your French.
You also need to know that the education system of Algeria is different from our education system here in Uganda. First, I would say the grading system, exams are marked out of 20. Yeah, so don't be surprised when you reach there and you're looking for a 90 and you can't see it. So exams are marked out of 20. And also, I think you've seen the courses that you've been awarded. Some of the courses are a bit strange because some courses in Nigeria are awarded in a domain format. I give an example of SNV, that is Nature and Life Science. There's also ST, there's SM. So people who have been awarded those courses, it's a big domain which have various specialties under them. And in our next episodes, we shall be bringing you people or individuals who have been in Algeria, who have gone through this system, and they'll be telling their story. They'll be letting us know how they navigated those different domains, how they go to choose the specialties they chose, and why. And I believe it will be helpful. Yeah.
We have come to the end of today's episode. And the one thing we want to tell everybody who's been listening in today, for us at Scholars Path Africa, we are very, very happy for all of you. Congratulations again on having received that scholarship. And we wish you nothing but the very best. We wish you an amazing journey, an amazing stay in Algeria. May you go there and achieve all the things you've set out to do, your dreams. May you go and pursue the things that you've been aspiring for. So we are very, very, very happy for you. One thing I want to say, thank you for listening. Thank you for joining in. Remember to follow us on all our social media platforms at Scholars Path Africa. Send us your questions about this episode. We shall be replying to them at the beginning of our next episode, or we shall dedicate an entire episode to just answering those questions for you. Please share this with anyone that you know is going to Algeria or has been awarded the Algerian government scholarship, as it will be quite helpful. Thank you so much for listening again. Bye.